Nix, or Nix for short here, and welcome to Nix Plays or Roleplays Skyrim. And as you can see, Jair is still sitting in the tavern. He's been here for about 10 hours now, or 11 hours. It's nothing, thank you. It's now 11 o'clock at night, and that's great, thank you. Okay, yeah, arrogant woman. And he's been sitting there for 11 hours, and it's quite a long time to just sit there. He didn't really have much else to do. He had a little bit of another walk around Dawnstar, and he saw the mine shaft again, and he just sort of looked at it and call it cat's curiosity. He wants to sort of check it out before he leaves, just to see what could be in there. It's a quicksilver mine. He's wondering if he might find some ore or a few silver coins that he might be able to take, and he's already come to the conclusion he needs to steal to be able to start his life, to jumpstart his new life here. But what he's going to do, because he's not immoral, he has his morality intact. He's going to obviously steal and jumpstart his life, and then come back in it could be a year's time or whatever. But when he's built up enough money, and he's going to come back and pay these people back for the items he's stolen, and he'll hope that they'll be kind to him for at least coming back and paying them back and being moral. So he's, this is just a regular mine. He's not a very big fan of caves. A bit dank, reminds him a bit too much of his cell, because that was a mostly brick wall with one lot of iron bars at the front, and it was quite dank and quite cold. But he's noticed here on this table there's this leather helmet, and nobody's looking at the moment, so he can't help but take it. And then he needs supplies, he needs some food, and he can't afford to pay for any food, so he hopes the miners don't mind him just possibly just taking a bit of their food, because they're quite well off at the moment. They all have jobs, they all have homes that did he just I just was a little bit peckish, that's all, sir. I'm not quite sure if he noticed.
If I get any rest soon,
that's good. So he's noticed there's some more food over here, but he doesn't want to get caught by this miner. Yeah, you can actually take it, but obviously, role-playing Jair doesn't want to sort of be noticed taking his food, but he is going to take it all, and he's even going to take the wine. I know he did. He threw away that wine earlier. However, he knows he's going to have a drink, and there's no water in this game, so we can't exactly. I was thinking about it, yes, but there's no water in this game, obviously, and he doesn't want to have mead, which is right here, but he's not a fan of mead. That's what those pirates were drinking that whole entire month's journey. He was coming over to Skyrim, and he's noticed some more bread, which he is going to take, and a potion of stamina, which we shall say is like an energy drink in this world. We'll just say that that's what it is, to keep up his strength if he needs it, his energy levels. And he's seen some quick silver ore here, which he's going to take, so you can imagine he might get a good price for that. So he's quite a successful sort of look around the mines. A very quick look around. He didn't want to appear too suspicious. He's not a miner. He's new to this town. He doesn't want to appear too suspicious. So he sort of walked around there a bit, pretending he's observing it, and he's taken the things that he think might help. And now he's going to go onto his main part of thieving. Now, he's spotted two houses, these two to be exact, this one, and they seem to be proper houses. This one's a potions place, and these two are a bit too exposed. It seems the guard pattern's a little bit lax around here for a few minutes at a time, and it's a good spot to sort of to thieve. So he's going to lockpick this door, and luckily he found some lockpicks in the corner of the room in the tavern in a bucket. He's not quite sure if a thief had left them there, if they were just thrown in there. He's not sure if lockpicks are, come by the dozen in Skyrim. But he actually has some lockpick experience, because when he was in his slave cell, I guess you could call it, in the Somerset Isles, where the family used to keep him to sleep and let him eat his meals, he often managed to steal quickly a lockpick or two from the smith, and of course he was making them for the Falmore, for their agents, and he tried to lockpick his way out of the cell. However, it usually ended in him being brutally beaten because he was caught doing so. But over time, lockpicking over and over again, he withstood the beatings, and he got a bit more experienced in lockpicking, which is why he could lockpick that door. Now, he's found some chests, and luckily enough he comes across some gold and some hides, which he's going to take the hides in case, obviously Skyrim's very cold weather, and it's to protect him against those elements if he has to sleep out at night. He's found some more gold, which is good. What else can we find in his chest? A hefty amount of gold right there. That could mean the difference between life and death for Jair, so he's definitely going to take cloves, and he's already got enough bread, so he doesn't want to take any more bread because he knows it goes quickly stale. He'll have to eat the pieces that he took tomorrow because they'll probably go stale and hard if he leaves them for much longer, especially in this cold weather. So he plans to eat the bread first. He's got a piece of meat there, and he also took a carrot and a sweet roll, which he's looking forward to. The meat was cooked, so he can imagine in this cold weather it might keep for a little bit, but he's got to be really careful because, as you can see, there's a guards there, and this is a rather lovely view right here. He has to, excuse me now, he has to, he has to act non-suspicious because he's a new person in town, and if he's caught sort of even just snooping around a house, he might get blamed as a thief, which he does not want to happen. So, but he's going to take the risk and try and pick this house as well and see what he can find very quickly. And as soon as he's done this, he's leaving. He's leaving Dawnstar for good. He can't stay here now that he's, and oh my word, he's going to be extremely quiet. He's going to take the risk. This woman, this is clearly a miner and she's sleeping, but he's taking the risk while she's in here. And the reason he's so desperate, he is very desperate right now. He has to take these things, and he didn't mean to take that straw. He didn't mean to take that straw at all. So let's just put the straw back. Okay. But this is how desperate he is right now to jumpstart his new life. And this is probably this is the only chance he'll have now to take some things extra. There's a boiled sweet here, boiled cream treat. And he's going to take that. And he's going to take the other one because these will last quite a while. But he's not too interested in cheese. And nothing in the cabbage. He's not exactly super healthy. But he's never had all these different sort of treats and foods before. He used to have a cold bowl of gruel, and luckily he's managed to sort of escape getting caught, especially with that woman there. His heart was beating right there when he entered the house and noticed she was there, but luckily he managed to pull it off, and his heart is still racing because he never planned on thieving, but he had to. If he was going to be able to jumpstart his new life, he had no money. He spent it all on the food when he came here and that boat ride just to get to Dawnstar. And if he hadn't taken that boat ride, he may have well walked into the farm, or the chances of him walking into the farm were very great. So now that he's a few yards away or a few meters away from Dawnstar, he's going to quickly change into the clothing he found and the leather helmet. So this is going to protect him against the elements, and obviously the leather helmet is a little bit of protection for him against whatever's out there. I don't remember him picking up an iron dagger. That might be my bad from there, but and he did pick up a bucket, that's for sure. So he hasn't got much. He's got a bit of food that should keep him for a day or so, but he's really got to find himself some sort of cave or such. He needs to find something, a place where he might be able to find some things that he could sell, or some money, or hopefully he'll come across something. He's hoping, with fingers crossed, that he's going to come across something soon. He needs a place to sleep, and he's very short on money still. He needs to start figuring out ways to make money, but for right now he's walking in the very cold night air, and even though he has fur, it's quite chilly for him. And oh my word, he's come across his first experience of the harsh creatures of the wilderness in Skyrim. But luckily a couple of walls are nothing to Jair, because after fighting those Falmor guards with his claws, and realising how powerful he could be, how much of a powerful fighter with his claws he could be. A couple of wolves do not scare him. Right now, he's starting his new life, and he's not going to let anything get in his way of starting his new life. So he's, as though he's fearful of this land, he's very quite courageous as well. He's not willing to, die now that he's got his chance to actually live a proper life. So, and he's coming across a few plants and berries, and he's collecting them, and he's managing to put them in the clothes pockets, because obviously working with the mage alchemist, the Falmor, when he was a slave, he learned quite a bit. He picked up quite a bit about alchemy. So alchemy is one of the things that he knows he'll be able to do, and he's going to collect ingredients while he's here in Skyrim. Of course, although he doesn't know about the plants in Skyrim, he's quite willing to try them out, see what different things do what. Because I'd say he's not an adept. He's more a basic beginner of alchemy, but he's noticed some people up here and they look like Imperials, so he's going to act quite natural, even. And he's wondering who one of the Imperial guards died. And they just seem to he's a bit shocked they're just leaving him to die here. That's quite, you can't believe how a bit callous the Imperial soldiers are. But he's definitely going to take this torch, and he's found himself some weaponry which he's certainly not going to let go to waste, even though he's going to be mostly fighting with his hands because he feels more comfortable with them, because those are the things he's practiced with. And he's noticed these sort of Imperial pieces of armour. He doesn't want to take the light helmet, but he is going to take the boots and the bracers. That he is going to leave the main Imperial armour, because that's clearly an Imperial's piece of armour right there, and if he was to wear that and he came across some Imperial soldiers, they might question why on earth he's wearing them. But the boots and the braces he's definitely going to wear. They're a bit non-conspicuous. The boots will keep him warm, and the braces hopefully will protect him against any attacks. Now, he can't collect this frostbite venom right now because he doesn't have any sort of container. But once he's drank his wine, he'll have a good wine bottle to use there. So perhaps if he comes across any more spiders once he's drank his wine, he'll be able to collect some venom and coat an arrow or two if he need in the venom to sort of catch some game. Obviously, this land, he imagines, is full of different pieces of wildlife that he might be able to kill and eat. So, and he's come across quite a fortress here that he doesn't really want to get tangled with anyone right now, especially a large fortress. He's not sure if the Imperials or the Stormcloaks or just other people holds that fortress right now, but he doesn't want to go near it. He doesn't want to get in any trouble with anyone, especially multiple people, because right now he doesn't feel he's strong enough to fight multiple people, so he's going to stay away from that. He's noticed a house in the distance, or a building, and he's going to make his way to that. He's intrigued. He wonders who's there, so he's going to see if there's some kind people or not. He's taken the risk here because it's a house, it's not a fort, so he's less likely to find people that want to kill him, and they seem quite nice. Hello there, good sir.
You speak to a vigilant of Stendar.
Ah, I see.
Cavort with any Daedra?
Oh,
I
do not know of any Daedra, but Stendar, okay.
The vigil will be watching.
So he obviously knows that Stendar is one of the gods, and obviously vigilants of Stendar are good people, and he might be able to find some warmth, some food in here, some extra food or something. Maybe they're willing to help him. And obviously he has his fur, but it's quite cold at night here in Skyrim, and even with his fur and the few pieces of clothing he's got on, he's feeling the cold even through them. And, okay, the snow's managing to get through the roof. I don't believe that's supposed to happen, but apparently it is. So the first thing he's going for is the heat. He'd like to get a bit warmer. But he's obviously noticed all this food right here is obviously not for grabs, it's for them. And now he's a bit warmer, and he's getting a bit of hello there. I've just come to keep warm in the house because it's quite cold out there. He's noticed a shrine of Stendar. He's not very religious. But you know, just in case they're looking upon him, he's going to I guess pray in a way to the vigil. And obviously in the game that gives you a blessing of Stendar, and it removes all diseases from you. He's obviously not aware of that right now, but he just did it for good luck, and he's going to go down here because nobody seems to be stopping him from doing so. Nobody's suspicious of him, so. And hello there. He's found another vigil, and he's noticed this room's got a few potions in it. But with someone clearly watching, he can't pull off that sort of thievery. He hasn't got that sort of skill yet, so there's nothing much for him here. Now he's a bit warmer, and clearly they're not going to share their food because they haven't offered. He's just going to leave right now. He can't imagine they'll let him stay the night for free. It doesn't look like they have enough beds, so he really needs to get a move on, because as the night grows darker and as it goes more into the night, he knows it's going to get colder, so he has to sort of keep on his toes, keep moving, and find somewhere to stay, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed at top, the map, the marker, or the compass is a lot more seeable now, and the reason is because I did have the transparency down quite low, so you wouldn't be able to see it. But the problem is you won't be able to see the people, their subtitles when they're talking, and I realise that I'll be talking a lot over people excuse me, during this. So instead I've turned up the transparency. You can see the map marker, you'll be able to see my health and such, but I feel it's just much better. And he's just come across a dead body here, which is a vigilant Estender. It just goes to show the harshness of the wilderness in Skyrim and what it can do to someone. And although it's somewhat obviously it's quite what's the word I'm looking for? It's wrong to tamper with her body. She no longer needs these, and he is going to take them. And he's not doing it out of immorality, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Or yeah, he's not doing it because he's immoral. He's doing it because he has to survive, and I'm sure as a vigilant Stendar, she'd be quite happy to give him these clothes. Now he's got some robes that are keeping him warm, and he's got some strong steel boots and shins, and he also has some steel braces there, which obviously will help him while he's fighting, help him to defend from his foes. And he's found a few berries. Again, he's collecting all of these different plants he comes across because he feels he might be able to make a potion out of them with his basic training in alchemy. So, and he's found another a torch here in Dim Crypt Hollow, which obviously he doesn't know about. But so I do apologise for the interruption there and the jump cut. Someone came, one of my family members came home, and I had to pause. But anyway, as I was saying, he's just found this cave, and fortune has smiled upon him in a way, because right now he's managed to find himself some steel imperial greaves, I believe they're called, or they are braces. So it's still imperial braces, and he has also got some steel boots on him, which is heavy armor, which will help him in his obviously his fighting and protecting him. And unfortunately for the Vigil Stendar, she passed away, but in her dying, she has given Jair a way to keep warm and protect himself, and he's also got this robe. Now, the properties of the robe he doesn't know about, but I do believe that it helps you in restoration magic. However, that Jair is not. Jair isn't talented in magic at all. He doesn't know any magical abilities, so he won't be able to use that to his advantage. But he wants to check out this cave because fortune has smiled upon him already, and he's hoping that it will continue to smile upon him in this cave, and he might find some things worthwhile that he might be able to sell, or help him even further some great other pieces of armour he might come across. So it looks quite wow, it looks okay, he's just noticed this wolf, and the wolves he's already come across aren't friendly, so you can barely imagine these will be. But luckily, within a few punches, he's taken them out with his sharp claws. It doesn't take him long to kill them, and he's feeling good about himself at the moment, being able to take out vicious wolves like that in one hit. You know, he's feeling it's giving him some hope for his for the future, that he won't just get killed by a vicious creature that lives in the wild. But he's found another one, but again, he dispatches them very quickly. No need for him to fret. And this is although obviously it's very cold, the land of Skyrim is very cold, you can't help but be quite taken back by the look of this cave, and that was rather creepy. He's a little bit... He's taken back by the cave, but these sounds that he's hearing at the moment, they're sort of making him a bit eerie. And there's a sword that he's going to take, because he can imagine he might be able to sell that. But he has heard stories of the Draugr and the undead in Skyrim, and all of the dark mages and necromancers. So he's hearing these creepy sounds, and he can't help but keep on his toes. And he's found some more weaponry, and a petty soul gem, which he knows somewhat about soul gems. Obviously, the mage he was working with, alteration. And he can't say that this is a bad haul for himself. Obviously, being a new wanderer / adventurer to the land of Skyrim, anything that he comes across is good fortune, if it can be sold for a price, of course. So he's just managed to come across a blessed sword. He doesn't know, obviously he doesn't know that it's a blessed sword. He can see this blue shine on it. He knows it's enchanted, but until he gets to an enchanting table, he won't know what it is. And yes, he does know what an enchanting table is, because obviously he worked with a Falmor mage. Now he's found a shield, which he's definitely going to equip and use, because this will help him block any very harsh attacks from a sword and such. It's only a leather shield, but it will still provide more protection for him against his enemies. But it doesn't look as though this cave has much else in it. But just looking at this is just one example of the caves in Skyrim. He you know, all of those years he was stuck in the Somerset Isle in rather high royal places, posh places, and in his cold, dank cell. And he's come to this land that's just filled him with wonderment. That all of these new places, they're just incredible to him, and he can't help but just sort of stand there and look in awe for a little while. And he's excited to see excited for what other places he may come across in his travels in Skyrim. But he's not quite sure if he really wants to stay there in this cave due to the wolves. He's not sure if there may be other wolves, and he doesn't believe he's going to sleep very well with those rather eerie sounds in the background that he heard. So he's going to leave. He's got some loot, some treasure, whatever you'd like to call it, and he's going to now leave now that he's got those. He's so far in his first outing in Skyrim, the land of Skyrim, he's been quite lucky. So, and just all of these different views, they're just incredible. You wish you could just sort of sit there and just look at these views for ages, because even though it's cold, they're still incredibly beautiful views. And there's a rabbit. I was quite surprised one could live up here in this sort of temperature. But he can't, because it's getting colder by the hour, and he needs to find himself some shelter to sleep. And he's not quite sure what on earth that statue is, but it's very demonic. He doesn't like the way it's been carved into the stone, as if it's almost looking and judging at you. And he doesn't know what Daedric god that is, but he's pretty sure that's a Daedric god, because that's a very outlandish statue, and he very much doubts that people would carve such a... Whoa! These wolves seem to be in abundance in the land of Skyrim. But he very much doubts that someone would carve such a demonic figure into the wall of into this stone if it wasn't a Daedric god, unless they're a rather well-known hero or some sort. And he's noticed some people up there, and they don't look friendly. But hello there. May I ask? I just wish to ask you. Okay. So these are Jair's first walk into bandits, the scum of the land of Skyrim, willing to kill anyone, rape and pillage and steal. And he's got to be careful he doesn't sustain a heavy wound. But luckily they didn't put much of a fight up. And he's been blessed with even more armour. and he's going to remove these robes of alteration, and he's going to put on, where is it? He's found himself some studded armour which has fur on it, which should keep him warm in this cold winter. And he's going to get rid of a few of these clothes because they're now useless to him. There's not much point in him keeping them. But he's going to keep these robes because he knows, he can tell that they're enchanted by the blue aura, and he's not willing to part with them. And even better, he's just found himself some iron armour. Now, of course, when he was with that smith, the smith taught him how to wear heavy armour. And despite the fact it may provide a little less protection from the cold, he still has his fur to rely on that keeps him mildly warm, and he'd much rather have the heavy armour on to protect him against people like that. And quite luckily they had some bedrolls and a nice warm fire, so this seems like a good spot to camp for the night. And this is his first walk into one of the mini birth stones, and this is the Lord Stone. He does know them because obviously as a slave he was still taught by a Falmor teacher, and obviously the royal hearth couldn't have a rather unintelligent slave, so he knows this is the Lord Stone, and he places his hand against it, and to his surprise it lights up, and it's quite taken back by it because he's never come across something like this before. But he suddenly feels a bit stronger and a little less afraid of being attacked, and the reason being is the Lord Stone grants the power of damage resist and magic resist, so we have 50 points of extra damage resistance and 25 magic resistance. However, this isn't the birthstone that Jair was born under, but he didn't know that these stones had such properties that they could grant you abilities and powers, so he's quite thankful for that, and quite happy that he came across that. But it's 6 AM now, and he's been up for quite some time, and he doesn't particularly want to sleep out here in the middle of nowhere. But he's going to have to get a few hours sleep in, just to keep warm and get some rest for his next day. And tomorrow will bring him. Obviously a lot longer, bring him a new day and a lot more travel time to wander about the land of Skyrim and see what else he can come across, and hopefully be able to sell his items and get some money and start his new life. So he's going to go to sleep and hopefully get a good night's a good rest. It's the morning now, but he hopes to get a good rest and have lots of energy for the next day, and hopefully feel a bit stronger. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I shall be doing these half an hour longish episodes. I hope the quality of the video is good. Please do comment on your opinions and views of this video if you have anything you'd like me to change, etc. And thank you for watching.